Okay, great. Let's start the meeting. We now have a quorum. And we'll begin by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Beginning now. I pledge allegiance to the
Allegiance to
flag
the
of the
flag of
United
the
States
United
of
States of
America
America,
and to the
to the
republic for
republic
which it
for which it
stands,
stands,
one nation, under
nation,
God,
under God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
with liberty
with
and
liberty
justice
and
for
justice for
all.
all.
Thank you, everyone, for joining. As I said a moment ago, we have a quorum, which means we can conduct business today. Um, there's the point of the meeting is to discuss a boat for the harbor master and hear the details of the bid that we received from the boat company that we have been in contact with. I will just point out, I'm not sure if this has been made as clear as to all as it was in past meetings, but it's important to realize that the town of Fairfield supports the boat at this point. They're not only in support of it, they're pretty specific about what sort of boat that they feel ought to be purchased, as well as they feel that they will have a need to use the boat if at some time for other purposes besides harbor master activities. Is that about correct, Brian?
Yes, Chris, Mr. Chairman, that's correct.
So I mean, I want to make sure that that's, everyone knows that as we proceed. And
I
I
think,
thought we could.
Chris, their support goes even further because I think they've committed to provide storage and maintenance for the boat, right? And
Yep.
and other things, right? So
That's absolutely correct. Thank you, Doug. So with that, I'll ask Brian if he could maybe walk us through the bid that we received and maybe some improvements to it that have been accomplished since the document's been shared with all of you.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So an invitation to bid went out. We were with the second bid on the town's new bidding portal that they've created. It's all online now. And they send invitations out to potential bidders, advising them of the deadline. It's very modern compared with past practices. Two vendors indicated an intention to submit a bid. One actually submitted a bid in response to our invitation, and it was Chisletts, Chisletts Boating and Design of New Hampshire. They are the manufacturers of maritime skiffs. The invitation to bid spec'd a vessel with the parameters we talked about, with certain accessories and equipment on the boat. I asked that they put two items down as add alternates, one being a tow post and one as a console cover, because of the what I thought might be the cost of those, and I didn't want to be pushed over, any limits set by the commission in its last meeting. So the bid came in from Chisletts for $62,095.60 for a maritime skiff, 180 an 1890 skiff, which is 18 feet 6 inches with a 7.6 foot beam. The price again was 62,095.60. It includes they estimate the completion date around September of this year. It may actually run later because they have to manufacture this. They manufacture them to order. Has a 10-year hull warranty, a 3-year warranty, and this is despite municipal or government use. Sometimes you lose those warranties. It's nonetheless, we have a 10-year hull, 3-year engine. Emissions warranty is 5 years or 175 hours. The alternates came in. The console cover was $885. The tow post was $7,700. I wouldn't recommend, in talking with them about this, I would not recommend the tow post, the $7,700. They suggested that if this was going to be a tow vessel where it would normally go out in rough seas and tow larger boats in, that's a good option. For what we're practically using it for, it seems like a lot of money to spend. This boat can do hip tows on the cleats. They're robust cleats. So if I tow in logs like I have to do periodically that are floating in the harbor, or an occasional Ideal 18 that gets hung up or something like that, this boat can handle that fine. we wouldn't need that big tow post in the back. And we're not a commercial tow service. The police department's big boat has a tow post on it. And sea tow is readily available for boats that run into those situations. And we don't normally tow people. I don't normally tow people. Just again, the occasional ideal that may get tangled up in a line in the harbor, or the wind totally dies. They just ask for a little help coming in. As to the other costs, I did talk to them. I looked at some of the pricing, and I can get the price below $60,000 for this. I can knock a few $1,000s off of it. I talked to them about, they put a very expensive siren loud hail system on that could be reduced to a different one, I think. And we can work with the numbers on that. I looked at the Garmin GPS with the transducer and the VHF, questioned them on their choice of those models, and they reminded me of a few things. One is that includes the installation and networking of the two, and the GPS has, well, the radio has AIS, transmit and receive, which they suggested is a good idea, and most of their harbor master boats have that. So if in fact, you call someone, you're calling the police boats, or they're calling you, you know exactly where each other are. And the Garmin GPS with the transducer, they said, is common for a harbor master boat where you're checking channel depths off the transducer, and you may want to pinpoint with great accuracy as to where you're seeing something, whether it's a mooring or a shallow spot, or charting your channel. Likewise, they said if you're going in to assist someone in shallow water or a situation, you need to be pretty accurate when you're going close to shore, exactly how much water you're in and what you're looking at and where you are at the same time. So they suggested keeping those items, but I think we can reduce the cost on the siren loud hail system. And they're willing to work with us to get below $60,000 to save a little bit more money for the town, should we want to. And again, this includes the trailer delivery and all that as well.
Brian, I have a couple of questions for you, and this is, for discussion and workshopping. There's no agenda behind them. That Garmin GPS map, the 943, I know they make it in a couple of different screen display sizes. Do you know what display size they're talking about here for this purpose?
I don't,
Okay.
to be honest.
It may be worth finding out. I mean, I would think, concurring with everything that you just said about, AIS and other, for this use where you may be dropping pins, locating folks, et cetera, I would think that probably the maximum screen size within the allowable surface, whether it's being flush mounted or externally mounted, and the price, of course, on that unit also varies depending on the screen size, so that might help. The other question, I agree with you on the tow post. I think for a boat of this type in harbor master use, if there is significant towing, there's other equipment for the town that is probably significant savings, although the cover may be something worth doing. The only question that I had is I noticed the spec had a Suzuki 90 horsepower engine on it, and I think the town of Fairfield runs on Mercury's. And so the question that I had was, where's the closest dealer in terms of service? Is this particular outfitter capable of installing a Mercury if it became preferable to the town that they have, access to similar propulsion on the boat, right? To what they're doing. I'm indifferent on what's on there. I think they all make decent, engines, but it would seem to be, given the town's interest and involvement, that we may want to just check the outboard with them and even see if it matters.
Let me just check something. I want to say that Rex is, I'm just going to go to it.
Oh, Rex is definitely a Mercury dealer. That I know.
And I think I believe, I just want to check to see if they're also a Suzuki dealer.
Sometimes manufacturers have special OEM relationships with manufacturers of engines, and they have to stipulate one or another. So that may be a hard, as far as the chart plotter is concerned, the AIS tool is a valuable and useful tool for you. I can see how it could be put in good use, bearing in mind that not every boat transmits on AIS.
Right, correct. I'm just going to type 6824. was calling up dealers very quickly here of Suzuki's for you. Their
I think
latest.
Rex is Yamaha, Mercury, and Suzuki.
Yeah,
in
so
terms of
they
service.
have, we
I'm not
have,
sure,
oh,
yeah.
I thought they told me it was Bridgeport Boat, not Bridgeport Boat Works, Twin Hulls, and it looks like Twin Hulls is one. Twin Hulls is by Captain's Cove Fairweather Yacht Club.
Mhm.
And in South Norwalk, it looks like they have, oh, this is what it looks like. It's there. What do you call it? It's what are the two of them here? One of them is West Marine. Well, West Marine's not helpful, and the other one is Rex Marine
Mhm.
in Norwalk. And again, that, yeah, they, and I talked to them about that. Let me see if I can get my video back
You
up
talked to the
again.
town about that.
No, to the I talked to the Chislets about the
Manufacturer?
engine. They're only authorized, they're only a Suzuki authorized installer. They said if we wanted another engine, we'd have to buy the boat without the engine and source the engine separately and have it installed separately.
Yeah. Which, by the way, happens all the time. So I know, like you mentioned, Rex Marine as an example. I know that they're an installer for Mercury and Yamaha and also Suzuki. And so I can't speak to the pricing. I know that a 90 horse runs about $9,000. But the rigging and installation, you have to assume, is a couple $1,000s beyond that of time and labor and materials. So my only interest there is not the engine type, just that it fits within the town fleet and whatever town maintenance plans or service things it may have. So it could be that's the only point I wanted to raise, because I think they run Mercuries on their other boats.
So Brian, if you speak to the town maintenance group or whatever entity within the town this falls under, they might have some advice for that for the final decision. Any other comments or questions? We've been
I
through
was,
this. Sorry.
yeah, sorry. I was just Googling. There's a dealer, Twin Hull Boats in Bridgeport, that works with Suzuki's. You know, they're just a local place.
Yeah.
Yeah, just there's other places too that are local.
Yeah, I just don't know if they work with the town.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, privately is one thing, but I suspect the town probably has a maintenance plan with the dealer.
Gotcha.
And may even do some parts and maintenance themselves.
Right.
I thought they used Rex. I think,
think
I'm
so
not
too.
positive though, when they talked to me last year, they had engine troubles on one of their boats. It
Yeah.
was and they had mentioned bringing it down to Rex to have them fix it for them.
I
They
think
called
so
Rex while I
too.
was with them.
The
Yeah,
the guy who owns and runs Rex lives in Fairfield.
yeah.
When I
So I guess
spoke
the
to
option
the,
is to, okay.
oh, sorry. When I spoke to both the police marine unit and the fire marine unit, they were pretty helpful, but they said that maintenance was pretty much, they have a bigger, obviously have a much bigger department. But they said that maintenance was handled more through them than through, just to be clear here, more through them than through the town. Whether we would have an line item approved by the town for maintenance cost. But then I think, you know, if it needed maintenance, it's not something we can just go to the town and say, we need maintenance on the boat. I think we would actually have to arrange for the maintenance with Rex or wherever.
Okay, so given that discussion, do I hear a motion to approve to proceed with the acquisition of the boat based upon the bid provided to us by Chislets?
I move we proceed with refining the bid provided by Chislett. I think that's what you said.
Well, we're refining the bid and then concluding the transaction.
And then concluding the transaction, yes.
Is there a second to
Seconded.
that?
Sec.
Is there any further discussion?
Who
Hearing none,
seconded it? Was that George who seconded it?
George.
Yes.
George.
Yes.
Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote to approve. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that's basically the end of our business for today. So it was a short and sweet call, special meeting. We'll be getting together in a couple of weeks. But is there any other business to discuss today?
I just have one other comment. It's probably late. It's not material to the motion. Brian, I also noticed that I didn't see, I think, anything in the bid package around a safety package, things like, flares, life jackets. I'm not sure how those will get procured. I'm assuming there's a plan for that, or we may need to have some budget for it.
Good point.
That is a good point. I will. Good point. I will check to see if that's included in these automatically or not. I'm looking to see.
Or maybe as you're negotiating something that gets included.
Yeah, we can go as we negotiate. We tweak it just a little bit with some of the items. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
So
want
the
me to go
last-
then? I'm sorry. Go with the Suzuki engine then, or as long
Well,
as we can have
I thought if you talk to as Brian, as Doug suggested, if you speak to the town and they say, we're a Mercury shop, we only really work with them, whether they do the service themselves or they send it out, they go to a special provider. I mean, they may say, well, we don't really care. We just want the boat. So just give them, ask them.
I'll
what
give them
they
that
feel.
option. I'll say, yeah, if you do want us to get an engine other than a Suzuki because of your procurement, your whatever, your maintenance.
And Brian,
and-
in my experience, having them install a Suzuki would be fine as factory installed in the event that the town or you or for some reason wanted a Merc or there was an economic or other reason to do it. Delivering a new hull to a place like Rex and having them install the engine and rigging happens every day. And it's a very simple thing, and it wouldn't cost more than what I'm looking at here. So it really comes down to configuring it to what works best for the town. So, close it as you see fit in doing it, but I think you, within the budget, ought to be able to handle either, and they're all good outboards.
That
Right,
was
so
the other thing I
would-
questioned them about Suzuki, and they've been using Suzukis at this manufacturer, and said most people go with the Suzukis. A few won't because they're brand loyal, but many folks just go with the Suzukis and use them flawlessly.
Yeah, so like
Like I
as,
said,
as an
good
example,
engine.
I know Cedar Point Yacht Club, who runs a fleet of maritime skiffs, runs all Yamahas on them and has Rex maintain and install them, and so they just take the boats. But it's, and it really comes down to who has inventory. I'm sure they were installing Honda or Mercury a few years ago.
Right. What they can get, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I think it's a matter of a maritime skiff having an OEM manufacturing, original equipment manufacturing relationship with, one vendor or another, one producer or another of engines, and then that's what they give you. If you want it separately, you're right, Doug. The switch outs are done all the time, and Rex or a host of other places would do a great job at switching out. So the last item here is a public comment, but there is no other public comments to be made because there's no other members of the public. So for all intents and purposes, Brian, the commission authorizes you to modify to our advantage the rest of the bidding process, as well as to solidify the instructions with the town in terms of the type of engine manufacturer. And then proceed to a purchase using the town procurement office as you already have started to.
Correct. Thank you. Understood.
And they've already begun the process. In fact, if I remember correctly, Brian, you mentioned that, had you not contacted them, they would have just authorized the purchase.
It's a good thing I
And-
called them because they were, Chris and I spoke and I called them and they were prepared to purchase the next day, issue the purchase. And I said, hold on, I'm gonna go back to the commission first. Yeah.
Well, it's appropriate to have this vote, this discussion and this vote.
Absolutely.
And I think that the rest of the commissioners will support this as well. So I think we're good.
Thank you.
Hearing nothing further for today's meeting, I'll call the meeting adjourned, and thank you very much for your time. We'll be talking to you all for the next meeting in a couple weeks. Thanks
you,
all.
gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.